There's a real danger that MEPs who voted for tight controls on e-cigs, forcing them to go through a whole load of regulatory bodies that will be expensive, are playing into the hands of the big pharmaceutical or the big tobacco companies. And of course they're best placed, they have the resources to comply with any regulatory measures and testing requirements that may be introduced.
Well, hello, good evening. It is Wednesday the 18th of December, almost a full year since the Tobacco Products Directive was first presented in Brussels. And today, agreement was reached on the text of the Tobacco Products Directive and mostly about e-cigs.
There's hypocrisy, double standards and confusion about this whole issue. You know, where do you place e-cigs? They're a game changer, they're a new product. We haven't come across them before. Do we classify them as a medicinal product? Do we classify them as a recreational drug like alcohol or indeed like cigarettes? Now I just think that time will tell. You know, the debate will move on, and what we shouldn't be doing at the moment is putting unnecessary restrictions in the way of a product which could lead to the saving of hundreds of thousands of lives every year and a dramatic improvement to the health of conventional cigarette users. Let's please not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Nyní přistoupíme ke zprávě McEwan.
After the European Parliament went to such great lengths to make sure that they wouldn't be regulated as medicines, they still can be. Member states that weren't going to have a go at making them medicines are going to be forced into adopting draconian regulations that they would not otherwise have been. I do not see how this is a win for anybody. Sav, I'm sure Chad's got something to say on that one before Dave comes in.
Whip It Up 69 says we've been well and truly screwed.
I think we've been sold out, is my take on that. It basically says, okay, we won't agree to it now. We'll agree to it without any scrutiny or any further votes in the future. That'll do, thanks. Watching the tweets last night and this morning from people like Chris Davis claiming a victory. What planet is the guy on? It is not a bloody victory, is it?
Anything above 2 mil is banned. Anything above 20 milligrams is banned. And any bottle bigger than 10 mils is banned. And they said there was to be no ban?
In many ways, this could end up being worse than bloody medical regulation, what we've currently got. You could speculate that it could be quite a good result for the tobacco companies.
I do get the feeling that this might have been constructed in order to kill e-cigs without being seen to kill e-cigs. And the best way we can fight it is by getting out there and making our protest heard in as many places as we possibly can.
Right, what's going on here today?
Well, we're having a meeting outside BBC offices just to raise awareness for e-cigs and the proposed e-cig ban that the EU are trying to enforce.
Here we are at BBC vape meet in Nottingham. Like 25 vapers have come down to actually support e-cigs.
Throughout Europe, vapers are gathering outside local television and radio stations for vape meets.
Incredible that.
Isn't it?
Vaping about 2 years. I'm here to fight for my right to vape.
This is what we are here for. E-cigs save lives, and we need to make sure people know.
That has stopped me smoking, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm very happy with it. It's doing us no harm. It's doing nobody else any harm. Please leave me alone.
Exactly, well there you are, there's a message for every MEP and every legislator everywhere. Leave us alone.
It is just basically a protest for me about my right to actually choose nicotine, how I want to actually take nicotine. We basically want to have the right to choose.
The government will always say there's not a ban, but it's a de facto ban because they want to regulate the e-liquids down to a ridiculous strength.
Cigarettes kill people, you know. This, as far as I'm aware, and millions of people around the world actually are aware, this doesn't kill anybody.
We are vapers, and we're not going to go away, and we're not going to go away quietly. So we're making as much noise as we can on Twitter, Facebook, sending emails, calling the newsroom, saying we are here, come and talk to us.
Today is actually 2 years to the day that I've been tobacco free, and I'm here to do my bit to ensure that one, I can be still tobacco free in 2 years' time, and more than that other people have the option to be tobacco free.
We need to make ourselves heard, and we need to do it any way we can, and this is nationwide trying to get the BBC to notice us and make our voices known to them from our side of it, rather than someone sat in Parliament saying, well, vapers believe and understand that that doesn't work.
Today in Cardiff has been pretty much of a good success. We've been met by Head of Security that passed our press release on to the press office. Somebody from the press office have come down. By all accounts, they're going to be inviting me back when they have a debate on it. He didn't say whether or not that would be a TV debate or a radio debate. We've also had the support from the security team allowing us to actually enter onto the BBC site as well to do various bits and pieces. In Manchester, they were asked to leave the vicinity, so I immediately got on the phone to Manchester to find out what was happening and going on. It's in regards to the protest outside your building at the moment. The vaping crowd up there has moved on.
Are you filming this stuff?
I am doing, yes.
I think I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Manchester sublet the site from a different landlord, so BBC don't own the site. So what has happened is the landlord has said we want them off site because obviously they haven't had permission from us to protest. So they've gone ahead and they've been moved off site to not be sort of taken to court for trespassing. As oddly as that sounds, that's what can happen.
This is going to start the ball rolling because it's time that we actually get listened to by people who are supposed to represent us, who are supposed to actually be the voice of us in Parliament, you know, in sort of like the European Parliament. This is time for them to start listening.
Most people have written to or emailed or rung their MPs. I mean, for instance, right now in Birmingham, there's an MEP with the vapers in Birmingham.
I think it's important to stand up for vapers, and the attempt by the EU Parliament to attempt to effectively ban e-cigarettes. I think it's ludicrous interference, and I think it's an interference in the EU that we don't need, and it's unnecessary. The major lobby against e-cigarettes is the tobacco lobby, and I wonder why. I think that argument says it all, and I think that everyone should be very suspicious of why the tobacco lobby wants to ban e-cigarettes. As from what we can see, from what we can hear today, it seems to be the only proven method of giving up cigarettes.
The government basically want us to go back to cigarettes, cause harm to our bodies, whereas vaping, it's not bad for us as smoking. My opinion is they don't want us to vape because they're losing too much tax money.
It's about us, people of Great Britain and the world, just saying, look, come and talk to us and find out from our perspective, not what someone said our perspective is. Manchester BBC have asked the people to move away. Surely they should embrace the fact that there are people that want to speak about a very important issue for people who want to stay on nicotine, don't want to smoke.
This is about me standing up and saying, actually, I want something that I know is not harming me. This for me is a solution, and it's about time that people started listening.
I see today as the first of many, and I see today as the beginning, and it's certainly not the end.